How's it going, Inter-somethings? I'm here once again with what I expect should be the last Omake for Tokyo Jungle. After this, we should have the game completely wrapped up and be ready to move on to other things. And since I'm expecting this to be a fairly short episode, I'd like to cover a few orders of business first. First is that if the colors on this episode are a little weird compared to how they've looked recently, I do apologize for that. To keep a long story short, the component input on my capture card stopped working. So I had to do a little cable and adapter sorcery in order to get the component out from my PS3 to go to the HDMI in on my capture card. And it's working pretty well, but the color reproduction is not perfect. I'll see if I can fix that a little bit in post, but for the time being it should be good enough to get the job done. Second is that if this video goes up when I expect it to, it will be on the day of my 39th birthday. Wow, yeah. 1 year away from the big 4-0, and here I am talking about video games for the internet. I'm kidding. It's a perfectly legitimate way to pass the time, and you're a good bunch of people to pass it with. It also occurs to me that later on this year, in November I believe, it'll be the 10th year anniversary of I Played a Thing, which is also kind of mind-bending to think about. But hey, who knows? If I can keep this up, if my body will hold out and my equipment will hold out, then maybe I'll still be doing this at 49, and I hope I'll still see some of you then. And finally, what was it? Oh yes, I have a question for you. I am curious as to whether you would have any interest in me doing a text adventure on this channel. I've got my next game all picked out already. That's going to be the more recent Blind one, which should be a lot less painful than High Seas Havoc. And I am also starting to look beyond that at other games I'm going to be covering in the not-too-distant future. And I know doing a text adventure in a video format would be perverse, like a screenshot LP or even a pure text one would make a lot more sense. But one thing I've learned from Hell, a cyberpunk thriller, is that I hate doing screenshot LPs. And this is a game fairly beloved to me from my childhood, and I'd certainly enjoy revisiting it. So if that's too ridiculous, by all means let me know, otherwise I'll give it some serious consideration. And with all that covered, I think we're about ready to get into the game, so let's get into the game. First thing we're going to do today is try out that chick power suit. Now, I don't imagine this is going to run terribly long, because even in a Gundam it's still a chick, but who knows, maybe we'll be surprised. We will find out as we begin Operation Very Stale Peep. The first challenge block has just kicked in, and I want you to take a look at what this does to my stats. It is ridiculous. Life goes up by 100, attack by 50, defense by a modest amount, but still worth having. Stamina, about 30. Hunger actually drops, which is interesting, but that's not a bad stat, we can deal with that. And we get a big speed bump as well. Oh wow, it's even got a little jetpack on the back. Very classy. But yeah, the chick is usually painfully slow, but as you can see, with the power suit on, we're moving at a pretty decent clip. This might actually have some legs. Might actually be able to keep the chick functioning for a decent amount of time. The question is, will we be able to survive long enough as the grown-up chicken to pass on to another generation and be able to put the power suit back on? Time will tell. I have just grown up, and as I expected, I cannot currently wear the power suit. It does not fit an adult chicken. We're still faster as a grown-up chicken, so that's kinda handy. That should hopefully help with our survivability a bit. I would also like to note that in the few years that I have been wearing the chick power suit, it has not degraded at all. It still has 80 out of 80 durability. I don't know if it ever does degrade. If it doesn't, that's awesome. We can use it anytime we're a chick. So I'm gonna cross my fingers for that. But once again, time will tell. 11 years in, and I do believe my power suit is still undamaged. Yes, it is. I'm also wearing a sun visor just for the hell of it. I also noted that I'm 5 years old, but still a baby chick. Yeah, this whole growing up mechanic isn't entirely sensible, but then fairly little about Tokyo Jungle really is. It's interesting, though. Normally you want to get your chick marking out an area and then growing up as soon as possible, but with the power suit entered into the equation, adulthood is a liability. Well, I knew that as soon as I got out of college. Well, a cat just ran away from me. Haven't actually tested the chick power suit in battle, but I think that's a pretty good sign. I'm also wondering if the suit's durability will finally start to degrade once I take some hits, but that's something we'll have to find out when it happens. In the meantime, somewhat surprisingly, I am actually on target with my challenges so far. And I have to hit Shibuya Station in the next block, so it will definitely be helpful to open up that shortcut that I'm coming up on. One problem I'm looking at right now is I am getting old. It's going to be very weird if I die of old age while still a chick, so we'll want to get that taken care of pretty soon. Just changed generation. I was actually losing stats due to old age shortly after I reached adulthood. But the chick power suit is still at 80 out of 80. It's looking like it doesn't degrade unless you take some hits, and we don't yet know if it'll degrade even then. Whoa! Apparently a Lycan can still smack the absolute living crap out of me even with the power suit on. Picking that fight was not a good idea. And it does look like that does a little damage to the power suit, so that'll be something to keep in mind. At least we've learned. And it appears the Lycan has decided to keep itself busy with my fallen sibling, so problem averted for the moment, or rather I would say it was averted if we didn't have another pack of them up ahead. Sneak, 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 little chick. Sneakity, sneak, sneak. Good job. Oh shit. It's happening again. Yeah, even with the power suit, it does appear that picking fights is not in your best interest. Oh shit. We've got Retriever. It's going to pass up all those lovely ungulates and concentrate its anger on me. And we have learned what I kind of suspected, which is that the chick power suit, for all its phenomenal stat gains, does not translate into combat readiness. Far from it. It is nice to have the double jump back, though. It's been quite a while since we've had a small enough grazer to use it. Another generation change is upon us, and the chick power suit seems to have only taken about 10 damage from those several killings that I went through back there. So it's not indestructible, but the durability is pretty good. Oh shit. Wasn't watching what was in front of me. I think we're gonna have to drop a check here. It's good to have an eyeball on the life meter on stuff like that, but if you go blundering into jackals as a result of it, not gonna help you. One thing I have definitely learned as a part of this feeling out process is that adulthood is not the liability I thought it would be. Oh damn, I got spotted again. Thought I would be able to slink on past that wolf, but clearly not. What was I saying? Oh yes, adulthood is not the liability that I thought it would be. The chick with a power suit has better overall stats, but the superior speed of the chicken is definitely helpful in that the power-suited chick still can't fight worth a damn. Managed to swat the hyena down. That was kind of fun. Well, we will have to sacrifice yet again. The chick is just not fast enough, even with the power suit, to really outrun predators. Oh, goddammit, another hyena. Is there any way I can get around this thing? Probably not. That's what I thought. And why don't, Ah! Crap! Well, I've gone and dumped another sibling. I don't think I have any left. Toxicity is climbing. There are predators everywhere. I don't think the power-suited chick is very long for the world. Oh, shit. Crocs aren't terribly fast, but I think this one's going to be fast enough. Oh, shit. I just launched the shit out of that jackal. That was a hoot. I don't know that it makes the whole thing worthwhile, but it was definitely fun. Oh dear. I've angered up the Crocs again. I was hoping to get to the last marking point in this area so I could grow up and then hopefully get myself some more siblings, and wow, that was an impressive launch. That was even better than I managed to do to that jackal. I got all kind of stuff bearing down on me now. Multiple Crocs. I think there might be some kind of Canid a little further back. Are they gonna lose me? I hope they're gonna lose me. Oh yeah, there is some kind of Canid back there, and it seems to be... Oh dear. Yep. For a third time, a chick at the end of the day, even in a high-tech power suit, is still a chick and still just about as fragile. That was not a particularly long adventure for the power-suited chick. I think I did better with the standard chicken without the power suit in my first run through with that critter. But that's life. Tokyo Jungle is definitely a creature of the RNG, and sometimes the circumstances that are given to you, like that tremendous predator population in Shibuya Woods, well, that's what you got, and you gotta try to make the best of it. And that leaves us with one more critter. This gentleman. Now, functionally, he's a lot like Homo erectus, although, as you can see, his base stats are nowhere near as good. And whereas the Java man is a carnivore, our salary man here is a dedicated vegan. Otherwise, he works, again, pretty much like the Homo erectus. He has about 55 years before his stats start to go down, about 60 years before his hunger is completely unrestorable, and he can't mate, the poor bastard. So let's take him on out for a spin. In operation, Honey, I'm home. Oh my god! Well, our salaryman has been alive for a year. And I have learned that, much like the Homo erectus, his walk cycle is kind of hilarious, and he makes a lot of rather amusing sounds. Says a fair number of things in Japanese. One of them that I did recognize is that when he eats, it sounds to me like he's saying Umai, which I believe is something like delicious. He does have the double jump, which looks really silly. And when he marks territory, he does the cute little fist pump and says something in Japanese that I don't understand. If any of you have any idea what that is, I'd be very interested in learning. And you know what? We gotta try some things on. Well, it looks like he can wear the usual complement of hats. Not the mustache glasses, oddly enough. I guess he can't put them on over his regular glasses. What's it gonna be? How about the Hotoko mask? We've got lots of them. Gives us a little more defense, and that can't possibly hurt. Oh, you know what? I'm being a dumbass. It just occurred to me I've been marking territory all over the place, and I shouldn't do that unless I have a marking challenge on. Oh well, at least I can give that last one for Shibuya Station a pass for now. Because since I can't mate, there's really little point in taking out flags that could be used for a later marking challenge. It would get me a place to sleep, but that's really not that much help. Oh, what am I thinking? I stopped at the headgear. We should try on some other things. Alright, that's starting to look a little kinky. I kinda like it. Ooh, cannot wear much of the body equipment, though. Shoes? I don't have any. Well, we'll just have to be the kinky masked man for the foreseeable future. Maybe I'll find something else worthwhile. Strange that he can't even wear the tuxedo, though. Once again, I couldn't make out what he said there, and probably wouldn't have understood it if I did, so if you have any idea, please do let me know in the comments. Oh, and I haven't taken a look at his attack cycle yet. Not bad. Oh, and I have a challenge on to defeat animals, don't I? Time to beat the shit out of a chicken. Oh, wow. His big pounce is like a diving crossbody. Well, that's Japanese entertainment media for you. Pretty much everyone knows a little bit of pro wrestling. Well, I've gotten on the wrong side of a pack of jackals, which are quickly calling in reinforcements. I don't think I have any health restoratives. Oh, I do have a magazine. That'll be helpful if I end up needing it, which I almost surely will. Okay, this has gone bad in a big hurry. I think I might best be served by running for it. But they're keeping up with me a little too well. Well, that's one down. Not much to be said for that. Time for a little periodical. He reads it for the articles. I didn't get my counter kill. I was hoping. Other than obvious problems with large groups of predators, which are pretty typical for gazers, I'm kinda having a good time with the Last Man of Shibuya Ward. He's fast, he doesn't starve too quickly, and his sheer goofiness is pretty endearing. Oh, a marking challenge. Making me kinda wish that I left those in Shibuya Station alone, had remembered to do that. But, well, we're in the woods right now, so that's not so much of an issue. It's that hippo marking challenge that I'm a little worried about right now. Dogenzaka, huh? Alright, well, that's not too far from here. I can head back there easily enough. But that is a worrying challenge because hippos, as you know, are very dangerous, and because they're going to be holding territory, they're going to be hostile. Okay, at least the first one was right there at the entrance. But I see some slow-moving blips up ahead, and that means hippopotami, I do imagine. Now, is there any way I can get up onto these from here? Not quite. I'm gonna have to try to stealth this, and I don't know how well that's actually gonna work. Decent amount of grass around, at least. These ones up ahead, I don't know if I can keep out of their way. Well, at least not everything here is a hippo. There's like, whoa! And it went after the chicken for God knows what reason, so that helps me out. I guess if they're holding territory, they're just hostile to everything that isn't another hippo. That would be my guess, anyway. Well, so far, partially through luck, I've managed to go undetected. Alright, just one more flag to go, and it's not far at all. And it looks like there is a hippo near it, but I don't need him to be distracted for too long. Victory! And that takes care of part of my marking challenge as well. Well, our intrepid salaryman has just turned 21, so now he can legally go on pub crawls with his buddies and do some sake bombs. If not for the fact that all of his friends were dead. Well, that got dark. Anyway, conditions will definitely not be helped by the fact that I just drank some poisoned water. And I'm going to imagine that any food around is not going to be edible. So I'm just going to try and get out of the woods and find somewhere a little more hospitable. Because I do want to take this guy to a 60-year-old death by old age-induced starvation. Or wolves, it might be, or jackals rather. Jackals seem to be a bit of a theme with the poor salaryman here. Depending on how many of them answer that call for help, I might... Oh, dearie me. I don't think we're going to be seeing a ripe old age here. My toxicities... Oh, and wolves. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. Never got to have that 21-year-old first drink. Not at all a good showing for the office worker. But he was entertaining while he lasted. I do like his little exclamations and his goofy sounds and his goofy walk cycle. And the fact that you can put the spiked collar on him, which looks completely at odds with his suit. Really strange to me that you can't put the tuxedo on him, though. He could certainly use the stats. Well, as I mentioned, I was expecting a fairly short episode this time, and my experience has borne that out. I'm a little disappointed that I couldn't get the salaryman to the 60-year mark, but then again, that did spare him a slow, wasting death of starvation, because the fact he doesn't have a functioning stomach anymore, so I guess you take your silver linings where you can. Anywho, that is gonna be about it for Tokyo Jungle. I thank you as always for coming along. And next video should be that new blind LP of a relatively new game, and I do hope you will be joining me there as we discover it together. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope all my fellow Yanks have a happy Independence Day, and for everyone else for whom it's just another day, I hope you have a lovely 4th as well. Take care, and I'll see you next game. Today's Ultimate Bad Day at the Office has been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zagamarth, Charlie Dunst, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnite, Patrick Bellinger, Rob Lyons, Andy Kurland, Jarogue, Martin Schoenmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, and other contributors to the Powerball pool. Thanks also, of course, to all my subscribers, everyone in the comments section, and everyone just along for the ride. A pleasure as always, and I hope life treats you kindly until our paths cross again.